Well, the first 24 to 48 hours are critical to saving the lives of those trapped. A number of countries have mobilized search teams or have promised to send aid. Here's what Canada's Prime Minister said today.
Our hearts go out to the families, the communities deeply affected by this terrible, terrible event. Canada is looking at how we can help directly and immediately, but also how we can work with the international community to be there for people who are suffering right now in the immediate and for the long term.
And with me from Ottawa is our Bureau Chief, Mercedes Stephenson. Mercedes, what is Turkey asking for? What is Canada capable of providing?
Donna, Turkey is asking for help urgently. There are, of course, believed to be thousands of people trapped underneath buildings, and it's very cold right now in Turkey. That means their time is running out. I spoke with a senior Turkish source today who told me that one of the primary things they are hoping the Canadian government could send are medium search and rescue teams. These teams can go for about 24 to 72 hours without needing sustainment, and they're experts at urban search and rescue, being able to dig through the buildings that have collapsed, to pull people out and to use heavy equipment. But the sources I'm hearing from in Canada are saying that Canadian teams generally don't deploy outside Canada or outside of North America. So that may not be something that's likely to happen, despite the Turkish ambassador actually asking for one of the teams by name, and that is Canada Task Force 2. They are a national disaster response team based out of Calgary. They've told Global News at this time that their primary area of responsibility, of course, is Canada, but if GAC, that's the Global Affairs Canada, our International Affairs Department, were to ask them to go, of course, in that case, they potentially could deploy, but that's not a standard activity. It's something that could be looked at by the federal government, but my sources are telling me if a disaster response team has not been stood up at this time this evening, it's unlikely they would make it in time to really help the people who might have a chance to survive. Other requests that have come in from the Turkish government include cold weather equipment because people are freezing. They've been displaced. They're looking for expertise from the Canadian government in surviving very cold conditions. They're looking for monetary donations that could help them buy things that could help. And then, of course, they're also looking for medical teams. Now, in terms of what else the Canadian government actually could supply, most of it is the military because they're capable of moving the fastest. DART, the Disaster Assistance Response Team, is probably the one most Canadians are familiar with. They don't deploy that often, but they could be sent. In this case, they can do things like water purification, and they can also help on the medical side. Medical teams, of course, another clear one. The military has doctors and nurses. They were deployed in Canada in the pandemic, and they can go overseas. There's the possibility of using Canadian C-17s or Hercules planes to help move equipment and people in, or even ships as a hospital ship. But at this point, I'm being told that all that's been done is staff checks. That's where they ask the military what's available, and still no formal government decisions have been made about what they actually want to put on the table politically, Donna. Of course, the fastest things they could do are potentially send the military, but it may be more likely at this point that they are looking at helping with the recovery and rebuilding than the rescue.
Okay, we'll keep watching. Mercedes Stephenson in Ottawa, thanks.